The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to make a dry needle felted 3-inch decorative wool bowl. We will use the following supplies: 1/2 ounce of wool roving in light gray, a little bit of cranberry colored wool roving, and a little bit of white wool roving, a size 36 felting needle, and a 3-inch smooth foam ball. We will take you through the process of forming the bowl on the foam ball and then creating a really firm bowl on that foam ball and adding the colored dots. You'll begin by pulling away about 1/4 of your wool and laying it across the foam ball up to that line that marks the halfway point of the foam ball. We do not recommend going beyond that line or the bowl will be oddly shaped. Wrap the wool and begin poking gently with your felting needle. The felting needle has barbs on the tip, and those barbs help bind the wool fibers together to create the shape and density. You will still have bits of wool that seem a little bit stubborn, haven't quite adhered to the foam ball. The goal is not to jam the wool into the foam ball, but to use the foam ball to shape the wool. Naturally, the wool will adhere a little bit to the foam ball. Continue poking these stubborn areas of wool, and note that at this point in the process, neatness is not very important. And then after you've gotten a general shape, you can neaten up the appearance by laying some wool over the spots that aren't so pretty. You will continue to lay wool like this over thin areas on the ball and continue to poke until it adheres to the bowl shape. You will notice that the top rim of your bowl appears to be a bit flimsy. We address that by taking the felting needle and poking it directly into that rim area, avoiding the foam ball. The barbed needle will bind the wool fibers together to create a firm, dense shape. You will repeat this process as often as you layer wool on top of the bowl. You'll notice you have a bit of a bald spot in this example, and you'll have bald spots in various areas on your bowl. We deal with the bald spots by taking a little bit of wool, folding it to create some thickness, and on the bottom of the bowl we lay it, and then we gently poke with the felting needle. For areas on the sides of the bowl, it's easy just to lay wool straight on top of that area and poke it into the bowl. Now that you've got the area covered, you're going to want to cover up the seams of that little patchwork by taking the wool roving and going over it like we did earlier. And you'll continue to repeat the process until you use up almost all of your wool roving except for a small bit that we'll save for the very end. You'll do this for about an hour to an hour and a half and get a firm bowl shape. For adding the decorative dots, take a little bit of the cranberry wool and roll a little bit between your fingers to create a loose circle. Place it anywhere you want on the bowl. Lightly poke with your felting needles and be careful not to poke your fingers. If you don't like where you put your dot, simply lift it up like Velcro and place it somewhere else and poke it in place with your felting needle. For the white rim, take some of the white wool, twist it, give it a skinny shape, and place it along the perimeter of the cranberry circle, and poke gently with your felting needle and be careful of your fingers. Use the tip of the felting needle to tuck in any loose ends and to neaten it up. Now you have your dots, and you can place them in various sizes throughout your whole bowl. Now it's time to remove the bowl from the foam ball. As we mentioned earlier, the point is not to firmly attach the bowl to the ball, but it will attach a little bit. We gently pull the bowl off of the ball, and you'll see where the needle poked into the foam ball. Gently remove it. You lift it, and you'll see some bits of foam on the inside of the bowl. If you poke too hard, you're going to have a lot of foam to remove from the inside of the bowl. Remove it with your fingers. Once you've removed as much of the foam that you're willing to remove, you can go ahead and poke the wool, and you'll get the firm shape on the inside of the bowl as you did on the outside. You can also use your extra bit of wool to cover up any bits of foam or discolored spots like we did here. Just lay it over the area and poke it with your felting needle. You can check out purlandloop.com for a variety of 3-inch felted bowl kits. The Purl and Loop kits contain the wool, photo instructions, felting needles, a foam ball, and a Purl and Loop project bag.